Okay, so today we are going to be skipping 12.5 and moving right into 12.6, and we will be talking about measures of center. A measure of center is a single value that describes the middle of a data set. This can be a little bit deceiving because sometimes it is not a single value, and you'll see how that goes as we get going, as we practice. The mean is the sum of all items in a set of data divided by the number of items. Then another word for this is average. They work interchangeably, so don't change it to average when you see mean, but understand in your head that mean means average and average means mean. Got it? Okay. And then the median is the middle number or the mean of the middle two numbers when the items in the data set are listed in order. There is an exception to this, and I have added a slide show on your notes today, your lesson plan. So take notes. You should actually be taking notes on all of this right now, so you have it somewhere in your notes and you can go back to it. Okay, so no, there is an exception to the mean. There's also an exception to the mode. So the mode definition here is the mode is the data set, is the data value that is repeated more than other values. So I always like to think of the word more and mode. More and mode. Median, I like to think of as middle. Okay? And then mean, it's just mean and average. But if you see the word median, you're looking for the middle number when you set everything up in order from smallest to greatest. Mode is the number or numbers that show up more than once or more often. So not more than once, exclude that, but more often, the most often. So sometimes I even like to say mode, most. Most is probably better than more. Most. Okay? Sound good? And FYI, if there isn't a number that shows up most, there isn't a mode. If there's more than one number that shows up most, they'd have to show up the same amount of times. Then you'd have more than one mode. Again, I made a couple slides and I've connected it or linked it to your lesson plan. So please check that and take notes on those slides. Okay, so let's do some practicing before you head in to the lesson today. Okay, so here's an example. This one asks us to find the mean, median, and mode for the set of data 80, 74, 82, 77, 86, and 75. First thing I might want to notice is how many pieces of data do I have? How many data points? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to make myself a little note over here. 6 data points. Okay, that's how I'll know how many pieces of data I have. Okay, so the first thing, we find the mean. Remember that the mean is the sum of all the data points in the set divided by the number of data points. Well, look, we know we have 6 data points. So we're going to take 80 and add it to 74 and add it to 82 and add it to 77, add it to 86, add it to 75, and here's our total. And we're going to take that number and divide it by 6. Okay, so this is a great formula right here to write down. Not necessarily the numbers, and you could put sum of data points divided by the number of data points. So here's my sum, 74. Here's my number of data points. I divide it and I get 79. So my mean, my average is 79. Okay, that's my answer. Okay, then look over here to find the median. The median is the number that's in the middle. Okay, in this case, notice that we have 7 numbers. First of all, we need to put them in order from smallest to greatest, which they are at this point, smallest to greatest. And then when I do median, a lot of times I just go from the edge and I just count in. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is my middle, but I don't have a middle point. So I'm going to take these two numbers and add them together. This is what I was talking about how a mean, if that is even numbers, I have 2 numbers in the middle. So I will add them together and divide by 2. That's like taking the average again, the average of the 2 middle numbers. Okay, so I add the 2 middle numbers together. I get, well, it was something else. What was that? 150? No, that can't be right, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm sorry. What am I getting here? 157. Hoi! Man, it's early morning for me today. 157 divided by 2. So we add the two middles. Now, if you had an odd number, there'd be one number in the middle, and you would take that number as your median. You will see that on some practicing today. So anyway, we take the two middle numbers of the median, if there's two, divided by 2, we get the average of the middles, and we get 78.5 as your median. Okay? And then to do the mode, we just look at the numbers and see which one, if any, repeat. So let's look up here at our original data. 80, 74, 82, 77, 86, 75. No, there are no repeating, so there is no mode. Okay? Awesome. So now let's practice down here below on a couple. Okay. Number 1. And they did not give us a ton of space to work out, but okay, here are our data points. First of all, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to put a little 5 over here. 5 data points. So I remember. Now, what's nice about this is when I do my median, there is going to be a middle. Okay, so let's first do our mean. Our mean, we need to add them up. Okay, so I'm going to add up 31 and 3 is 34. So I'm going to write a 34 right here. Okay, because I put these together. Plus 14. Plus 14 is going to be 48. Okay, 48 plus 31. Let's do 79 plus 11 equals, so that one's going to give me 80, so 90. Okay, then I take that 90, and I'm going to move this right over here. 90, and I'm dividing it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 data points. Remember, we already counted, but I was just showing you. Okay, 90 divided by 5 is it's going to go in 1 time. And then there's going to be 4 left over, drop down to 0. 5 goes into 48 times. So the mean here is 18. All right. And then our median is when we line them up in order from smallest to biggest. So I'm going to do that, make a list right here. 3. After 3 would go 11, then 14, 31, 31. Okay, I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to count from the outside. So 1, 2, and then this is the very middle, because if there's an odd number of them, there will be a very middle. So the median for this case is 14. And then just by looking at this, either one, is there any that repeats? Yes, 31 repeats. And there's 2 of them, so it shows up the most, so our mode is 31. Awesome, possum. Making sense? Okay, let's do a couple more. Let me just get my page turned. Okay, let's look at number 2 here. I'm going to slide over a little bit if I can. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 data points. So keep in mind that we will have 2 medians that we will need to take the average or mean of. But let's take the mean of this first. So I'm actually going to write this over on the side to add up 95. Oh, heck, plus 5, I'm going to get 100, right? So I'm just going to take that out right there. And then I'm going to do 18 and 51. Add all that together. I can do that easy, right? 9, 6, 1. So I got 18, get 51. And then I'm just going to put those together right now and call it 23. 12. So that's going to be 7, 8, 9, and 1. 192. Okay? But then I need to take 192 and divide it by 6. 192. So you can see how this can take up some space, right? It's going to go in 3 times, 2 times. So my mean is 32. Okay, my mean, my average. Median. Okay, I need to put these in order from smallest to biggest. So 1, 5. So 1, 5, 18, 22. Sorry, I almost skipped that 51. That's why I needed to look at that. 95. Make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you have them all, because if you have a longer list, like, down here, super long list, then you are going to maybe miss one. So be careful. Okay, median. I count in. Okay, these are my 2 my two middle numbers. So I'm going to add those together. 18 plus 22 equals 40 divided by 2 equals 20. So my median is 20. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, mode. Let's look up here. 95, 18, 51. There is no mode. Okay, so you're just going to put no or none. Okay? All right. Let's do this one now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 data points. Okay, I want you to pay attention to a 0. A 0 is still considered a data point, so you still need to count it as one of your data points. So I have 7. Even though when I add up, adding 0 doesn't change anything, but 0 is still a data point. Please don't forget that. Take a note. Okay, we need the mean first. So in the mean, we add everything up together. Okay, so over here on this side, I have 2 14s, so I'm just going to write 28 right now. Okay. 22, I can do that pretty easy probably. And then let's do 12. I mean, I don't know, randomly I'm picking this, but let's do 12 and 15 together gives me another 20. It's not another, but a 27. And then I'm going to add a 7. And you know what? I'm going to add this 7 right here to this 22. And I'm going to make it, oops, I didn't erase that very well, 29. Okay, so now I've got all those numbers. Okay. Okay, so 8 and 9 give me 17 plus 7 more is going to give me 24. And then I have 4 2s, so it's 8. So I have 84. And then I'm going to divide, to get my mean, my average, I'm going to divide 84 by 7. So 84 divided by 7. I'm going to do it that way like a fraction so you can see that. And I know this because this is a math fact. It's 12. So my mean is 12. Okay, median, I need to line them up in order. So remember, 0 is a data point. So 0, 7, 12, maybe put some commas, that's helpful, right? 0, 7, 12, 14, and this is tricky sometimes when there's 2 of things, I might forget them, so make sure you put them, 14 and 14, 15, and 22. Do you notice that we could have taken this list possibly from like a dot plot? So if I had a dot plot in front of me, I could write down all the data points. Now, if I had 2 14s, I'd have to write 14 twice if I saw that on the data point, on the dot plot, okay? So keep that in mind. Things that we did at the beginning of the chapter, we can use when we are doing these things at the end of the chapter. Okay, the second half. Okay, so here's my list in order, in numerical order from from smallest to greatest, and I'm going to just move in from the outsides, and I just like to count. I don't need to really count, but just as long as I'm making the same amount of jumps from this side. Okay, so there were 7. I'm going to land on one in the middle. 0 and 2, 7 and 15, 12 and 14. Oh, this 14. So the median is 14. Even though there's 2, this is still the middle data point lined up in order, okay? And then on the mode, again, the mode means shows up the most, and we know that 14 showed up the most because there was 2 of them. All good? Making sense? Okay. I'm going to actually have you look at this number 4 all by yourself. Okay, look at number 4. And here is your challenge for the day. I want you to find the mean, median, and mode. And I want you to send me a Google chat with the answers. Okay? All right, it's your challenge. Let's see how many people respond. There might be something involved. I don't know. Okay, have an awesome day. Watch the video, look through the slides, and write down your notes, and then rock your homework today. Okay, love you, miss you. Have a happy Monday. Talk to you later.